Today, we're diving into the book Be the Best Version of Yourself. This is a guide about breaking free from limits, stepping out of your comfort zone, and unlocking your true potential. The author shows that anyone can become stronger, more disciplined, and more confident by taking responsibility for their own life and taking action. Why is this book important? Because most people get stuck in a routine, living the same day over and over, postponing their dreams, and slowly losing faith in themselves. The author says it clearly: if you want change, start with yourself. These are not empty words. The book is filled with real practices and strategies that have helped thousands of people transform their careers, relationships, health, and mindset. If you don't have time to read the whole book, this video will give you all the key ideas in just about an hour. We'll go through the main lessons and exercises so that you can start applying them in your life right away. Who is this book especially useful for? Anyone who feels stuck and wants change. Those who want to build discipline and willpower. People who strive for success but don't know where to start. At the end of this video, we'll sum up the strongest insights and leave you with one question. What will you start doing tomorrow to become the best version of yourself? Chapter 1. Start with yourself. The author begins with a powerful truth. Real change in life doesn't start with money, luck, or other people. It starts with us. Most people live with the illusion that tomorrow something will magically change. New opportunities will appear, luck will come, someone will open doors for them. But the reality is nothing changes until we take responsibility. The first key idea: we are the result of our own choices. Everything you have right now, your job, your health, your relationships, your habits, is the outcome of the decisions you've been making for years. If you want different results, you need to start making different choices today. The author uses a simple metaphor. Life is like a garden. If you don't take care of it, weeds will grow. But if you water it, nurture it, and look after it daily, it flourishes. The same is true for self-development. Without discipline and effort, life turns into chaos. With consistent action, it grows. Another important point: start small. Many people wait for the perfect moment or aim for massive changes right away. Quitting their job, moving abroad, starting a business. But what really matters is building small habits. Waking up earlier, exercising, reading, planning your day. These small steps compound into big results. The takeaway from this chapter: stop waiting, stop blaming circumstances. You already have what you need to begin. The only question is whether you're willing to take small, daily steps that will slowly but surely turn you into the best version of yourself. Chapter 2. The Power of Habits. The author explains that we are not what we occasionally do, but what we consistently repeat. Our character is built from habits, and habits determine where our life is heading, toward success or toward mediocrity. The key idea: habits are stronger than motivation. Motivation can rise and fade, but habits keep working on autopilot. If you have the habit of waking up early, you'll do it without needing inspiration. If you've built the habit of exercising, you'll still go for a run even when you don't feel like it. The author highlights that everyone has both positive habits, like exercising, reading, planning, and destructive ones, like procrastination, scrolling on the phone, overeating. The more you reinforce the good ones, the less space remains for the bad ones. Example: someone wants to lose weight. If they rely only on motivation, they'll soon give up. But if they create habits like daily walking and eating healthier meals, the results become inevitable. The author's advice: don't try to change everything at once. Pick one simple habit and stick to it. For instance, drink a glass of water every morning, do a quick workout, or read 10 pages of a book. These small wins build discipline and confidence. The takeaway from this chapter: your future is a reflection of your habits. If you want to change your life, Change what you do every single day. Chapter 3. Discipline is the key to success. The author is very clear. Without discipline, no goal or dream becomes reality. You can make lists, write down visions, create yearly plans, but if you don't follow through, it all turns into illusion. The key idea: discipline matters more than talent or inspiration. Talent is common, inspiration comes and goes, but discipline is what makes results inevitable. Example: top-level athletes. What sets them apart isn't just physical ability, but the discipline to train every day, even when they feel tired or unmotivated. That discipline is what turns them into champions, not just people with potential. The author compares discipline to a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. On the other hand, if you constantly give in to laziness and impulses, your discipline muscle weakens. Practical advice: start with small commitments and stick to them. Promise yourself you'll wake up 30 minutes earlier for a week, or do a 15-minute workout every day. Once it becomes a habit, move on to the next challenge. This way, discipline grows step by step. The takeaway from this chapter: discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, goals stay on paper. With it, they turn into real achievements. Chapter 4. Self-confidence. The author emphasizes that without self-confidence, you can never fully unlock your potential. But here's the truth: confidence is not something you're born with, it's a skill you can develop. The key idea: confidence is born from action, not from waiting. Many people think, once I succeed, then I'll feel confident. But in reality, it works the other way around. Taking action, even small steps, builds confidence. Each step you take, even if it's imperfect, strengthens your belief in yourself. Example: someone is afraid of public speaking. If they wait until they magically feel confident, they'll never step on stage. But if they start small, speaking to 3 friends, then to coworkers, step by step, their confidence will grow. The author also highlights the power of self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves shapes our reality. If you constantly say, "I can't do this, I'll fail," your mind starts believing it. But if you repeat, "I can handle this, I'm learning, I'm getting stronger," you lay the foundation for confidence. Practical advice: every day, do something that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. Small challenges create the habit of acting despite fear. The takeaway from this chapter: confidence is the result of practice. It doesn't come out of nowhere. You earn it through consistent action and a positive inner dialogue. Chapter 5. Environment and circle of influence. The author reminds us that no matter how strong you are as an individual, your environment has a massive impact on you. The people you interact with daily shape your mindset, your actions, and even your ambitions. The key idea: you become like the people you spend the most time with. If your friends constantly complain, stay lazy, and aim for nothing, you'll unconsciously mirror their behavior. But if you surround yourself with people who set goals, work on themselves, and encourage you, your growth becomes natural. Example: someone decides to get fit. If their environment is full of people who eat junk food and spend evenings on the couch, it'll be tough to stick with it. But if they join a group where people train and live healthy lifestyles, the new habit will settle in much faster. The author also highlights the information environment. Our mindset is shaped not only by people but also by what we consume, what we watch, read, and listen to. If you feed your brain daily with news about crisis and negativity, your mind will be focused on fear. But if you regularly listen to self-development podcasts, read empowering books, and study biographies of successful people, your perspective will expand. Practical advice: analyze your circle. Ask yourself, do these people pull me up or drag me down? If down, limit your time with them. If up, strengthen those connections. The takeaway from this chapter: growth is impossible in a toxic environment. To become the best version of yourself, you need people and information around you that support your journey. Chapter 6. Goals and Focus. The author explains that without clear goals, we're like a ship without a rudder. We can move, work hard, even stay busy every day, but we'll end up in the wrong place. The key idea: clear goals give direction and energy. When you know exactly what you want, you stop wasting time on distractions and focus on what really matters. A common mistake people make is setting vague goals. I want more money. I want to be happy. I want to change my life. These don't work. Goals must be specific. I want to earn $2,000 a month. I want to run a marathon in a year. I want to read 20 books in 12 months. The author suggests using this rule. A goal must be clear, measurable, and time-bound. Only then does it shift from being a dream to being a real plan. Example: saying, I want to learn English is vague, but setting a goal like, I'll study 30 minutes a day and pass the B2 exam in a year creates focus and structure. Another key point: don't chase everything at once. If you spread yourself across too many directions, you'll achieve none. It's better to pick 2 to 3 priority goals and fully commit to them. The takeaway from this chapter: your time and energy are limited. To become the best version of yourself, you must direct them toward what truly matters and cut out the rest. Chapter 7. Persistence and Willpower. The author points out that most people quit too early. They start a project, a workout routine, or a new venture, but give up at the first signs of difficulty. True success only comes to those who keep going when things get tough. The key idea: success is a marathon, not a sprint. Big achievements take time. If you expect quick results, you'll get frustrated. But if you accept that the journey is long, you build patience and inner strength. Example: a writer may face years of rejection from publishers, but the one who keeps going eventually gets their book published. An entrepreneur may fail several times, but through persistence, they'll eventually find the winning formula. The author also stresses the power of small steps. Sometimes the mountain looks impossible to climb, but if you keep moving one step at a time, day after day, the peak becomes reachable. Practical advice: when you feel like quitting, ask yourself, what if I keep going one more day, one more week? Often, the breakthrough is closer than it seems. The takeaway from this chapter: persistence and willpower matter more than talent. They are what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. Chapter 8. Time and Priorities. The author raises a key point. We all have the same 24 hours a day, yet the results people achieve are very different. Why? It all depends on how we spend our time and what we prioritize. The key idea: time is the most valuable resource. You can lose money and earn it back, but once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. That's why learning to manage time is just as important as managing money. Many people complain, I don't have enough time. But the real issue isn't time, it's priorities. If you don't manage your time, time will manage you. Example: someone wants to write a book, but spends 3 hours every night scrolling on social media or watching TV. As a result, the book stays a dream. But if they dedicate just 1 hour a day to writing, in a year they'll have a finished manuscript. The author suggests following the principle: do the most important thing first. Each day should start not with trivial tasks, but with the one that matters most. If you give your best energy to your key project in the morning, you'll always move forward, no matter how busy the rest of the day gets. Another useful practice is the elimination rule. Regularly check what truly moves you toward your goals and what only drains your time without results. The takeaway from this chapter: success doesn't belong to those who work the most, but to those who focus on what matters. Managing your time and priorities is the foundation of a productive and successful life. Chapter 9. Fear and Breaking Barriers. The author emphasizes that the biggest enemy of success isn't circumstances. It's fear. Most of the time, what holds us back isn't lack of resources or opportunities, but the inner voice saying, "What if I fail? What will people think? What if I make a mistake?" The key idea: fear doesn't go away, you overcome it through action. Waiting until you stop being afraid is pointless. Fear fades only when you face it directly. Example: one person dreams of starting a business but delays for years, paralyzed by fear of failure. As a result, they lose time and chances. Another person launches a small project, makes mistakes, learns, and eventually succeeds. The author suggests reframing mistakes. Failure isn't defeat, it's feedback. Every misstep is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. In fact, failure is the only real path to growth. Practical advice: whenever fear appears, ask yourself, what's the worst that could really happen? Most of the time, you'll realize the risk isn't nearly as scary as your imagination makes it. The takeaway from this chapter: courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. That's how you grow and discover new horizons. Chapter 10. True Motivation. The author explains that many people wrongly believe success requires constant motivation. But motivation is just a feeling, and feelings are temporary. Today you feel inspired, tomorrow you feel tired and drained. If you rely only on motivation, you'll always be stuck on an emotional roller coaster. The key idea: true motivation comes from purpose and goals, not from emotions. When you clearly know why you're doing something, you create an inner source of energy that doesn't depend on mood. Example: a young father may be exhausted after work, but he still finds the energy to spend time with his child because he knows how valuable that time is. Or an entrepreneur keeps pushing his project not just for profit, but because he sees its potential to change lives. The author suggests asking yourself, why does this matter to me? If your reason is strong enough, you'll always find the strength to continue. Another crucial point: motivation grows through action, not the other way around. Sitting and waiting for inspiration rarely works. But once you take the first step, the energy to keep going appears naturally. The takeaway from this chapter: stop chasing external motivation. Create it from within by finding meaning, staying connected to your goals, and taking action. That's where real strength comes from. Chapter 11. Balance and Energy. The author reminds us that becoming the best version of yourself isn't only about working harder on goals. It's about balance and managing your energy. Many people think success means constant hustle, working 24/7, pushing nonstop. But in reality, burnout destroys everything. The key idea: energy matters more than time. You can have 10 free hours, but if you're drained and unfocused, they'll be wasted. On the other hand, 1 hour with high energy can be more productive than an entire day of tired effort. The author highlights 3 main sources of energy: physical body, sleep, nutrition, exercise. Neglect these and productivity collapses. Emotions, relationships, hobbies, positive experiences. These recharge the mind. Mindset, learning, reading, surrounding yourself with the right people. This expands your mental capacity. Example: one person works nonstop with no sleep or exercise, believing they're being productive. Within weeks, they burn out. Another person takes care of their health, rests well, and ends up achieving twice as much with less effort. Practical advice: treat yourself like an athlete running a marathon. Balance effort with recovery, prioritize sleep, and make time for people who give you energy. This isn't wasting time. It's investing in long-term effectiveness. The takeaway from this chapter: true productivity comes from energy. Take care of your body, emotions, and mind, and you'll reach your goals faster and with less struggle. Chapter 12. Responsibility and Self-Honesty. The author explains that one of the most powerful tools for growth is taking full responsibility for your life. As long as you blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, you stay stuck as a victim and can't create real change. The key idea: responsibility equals power. When you admit, "I created the results I have today," you gain the power to change them. Yes, circumstances can be tough, but your reaction is always your choice. Example: two people lose their jobs. The first one says, "It's the economy. My boss is unfair. The government doesn't help," and gives up. The second asks, "What can I do now? What skills can I learn? What business can I start?" And he eventually succeeds. The author stresses the importance of being honest with yourself. Most excuses like, "I don't have time," "I'm too tired," or "other people hold me back," are not the truth. They're comfortable lies. Growth starts when you stop lying to yourself and see things as they are. Practical advice: keep a journal or simply ask yourself regularly, "Why haven't I reached my goal yet? What am I doing wrong? What can I change right now?" Honest answers reveal the real path forward. The takeaway from this chapter: as long as you shift responsibility, you stay weak. The moment you take it back, you become the master of your life. Chapter 13. Self-Development and Learning. The author emphasizes that in today's world, winners are not the strongest or even the smartest, but the ones who can learn and adapt the fastest. The world is changing quickly, and if you stop growing, you start falling behind. The key idea: self-development is the highest return investment. You can lose material things, but your knowledge and skills always stay with you. They're what open new doors and opportunities. Example: someone loses their job. If they have no new skills, they're stuck. But if they've been learning, building side knowledge, and expanding their thinking, they'll quickly find a better opportunity. The author suggests making learning a daily habit. Read at least 15 to 20 minutes a day. Listen to podcasts or lectures instead of mindless scrolling. Take courses or attend workshops. Spend time with people you can learn from. Another crucial point: it's not just about learning, but about applying knowledge. Many people love reading self-help books, but without action, it becomes an illusion of progress. Real growth comes when knowledge turns into practice. The takeaway from this chapter: if you learn every single day, in 1 year you'll be a completely different person. In 5 years, you'll be far ahead of those who stopped growing. Chapter 14. The Habit of Taking Action. The author stresses that knowledge without action is worthless. The world is full of people who read books, watch motivational videos, take notes, but never apply anything. Their lives stay the same because they never move from words to action. The key idea: success only comes through action. Even if your steps are small and imperfect, they still move you forward. The most important thing is not waiting for the perfect conditions, but starting right now. Example: someone wants to start running. They spend weeks searching for the perfect shoes, the best training plan, and waiting for good weather. A month passes and they still haven't started. Meanwhile, another person simply puts on old sneakers and runs, and that's the one who becomes a runner. The author reminds us, action creates confidence and opportunities. Once you start moving, you gain experience, meet people, and discover paths that were invisible before. Motion itself opens doors. Practical advice: every single day, take at least one step, no matter how small, toward your goal. Send that email, read one page, do one workout. Small daily actions add up to massive results. The takeaway from this chapter: Knowledge plus action equals power. Without action, everything else is just theory. Chapter 15. The Power of Mentors and Role Models. In this chapter, the author shifts focus from friends and peers to the importance of mentors. To speed up growth, you need to learn from people who've already walked the path you want to take. The key idea: mentors shorten the journey. You could spend years making mistakes and searching for answers, but the right piece of advice can save you months or even years of struggle. Example: a new entrepreneur might rely only on trial and error, losing money in the process. But with a mentor, they can avoid the biggest mistakes and reach results much faster. The author also highlights the power of virtual mentors. Even if you don't have someone guiding you personally, you can still learn from great minds through books, podcasts, lectures, and biographies. Many successful people grew by studying the lives of those they never met in person. Practical advice: actively seek out people who inspire and challenge you to grow. They can be real acquaintances, coaches, or simply authors and leaders you follow. What matters is applying the lessons you learn from them. The takeaway from this chapter: one good mentor or role model can accelerate your journey many times over. Chapter 16. Gratitude and Positive Thinking. The author highlights a topic that's often underestimated: gratitude. Most people focus on what they lack, on problems, and on failures. But the ability to notice the good and practice gratitude makes life more balanced and fulfilling. The key idea: gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. When you're thankful for what you already have, your brain starts noticing more opportunities. Gratitude reduces stress and builds self-confidence. Example: two people face the same situation, their project fails. One says, "I'm a failure. Nothing works for me." The other says, "Thank you for the lesson. I've learned and gained experience." Different attitudes create different futures. The author recommends practicing gratitude daily. For instance, keep a journal and write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can be something big, but often it's the small things: a friend's smile, a tasty meal, a sunny morning. Another point is positive thinking. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means looking for opportunities even in difficulties. A positive mindset fuels solutions, while negativity paralyzes you. The takeaway from this chapter: gratitude and positivity are fuel for personal growth. They keep you moving forward, even during tough times. Chapter 17. Patience and Long-Term Thinking. The author stresses that in today's world of instant gratification, people have forgotten how to wait. Everyone wants quick success, fast money, overnight careers, instant changes. But in reality, true achievements take time. The key idea: patience is an underrated superpower. Most people quit too early because they don't see instant results. But if you can think in years instead of days, you'll surpass 90% of those who gave up halfway. Example: an investor who puts money in and waits for decades ends up with results that short-term gamblers only dreamed of. Or a musician who practices for years until one day the world finally hears them. The author insists, you must learn to love the process. If you only enjoy the final outcome, the journey will feel like suffering. But if you find joy in every step, in training, in ideas, in small progress, then patience becomes natural. Practical advice: when setting goals, don't just ask, what do I want in a month? Ask, who do I want to be in 5 or 10 years? That shift in perspective keeps you committed. The takeaway from this chapter: everything great takes time. Patience and long-term thinking are the foundations of big victories. Chapter 18. Self-discipline and control over desires. The author emphasizes that today we're surrounded by constant temptations: tasty food, endless entertainment, social media, instant pleasures. And the ability to control these desires determines whether we reach our long-term goals. The key idea: the ability to say no is the skill of winners. Every time we give in to a short-term craving, we trade our future for a brief moment of comfort. But those who learn to resist gain control over their lives. Example: a student can spend the evening binge-watching shows or studying. The first enjoys the moment while the second earns a diploma, a career, and success years later. The author introduces the idea of delayed gratification. If you can wait and manage impulses, you win in the long run. It's like an investor who doesn't spend everything right away but invests and gains much more later. Practical advice: build willpower step by step. Don't try to cut everything at once. Start small, limit social media, skip sweets for a day, spend an hour without your phone before bed. These small victories strengthen discipline. The takeaway from this chapter: real success is built on self-control. When you master your desires, you master your future. Chapter 19. Belief in yourself and visualization. The author emphasizes that every achievement starts in the mind. If you don't believe you can do something, you won't even try. But when belief is strong, your actions become bold and your goals achievable. The key idea: you see in life what you believe in. If your inner script says, "I'm a failure," you'll notice only evidence of that. But if you believe, "I can succeed," you'll naturally spot opportunities, people, and paths to make it real. The author recommends practicing visualization. This isn't magic. It's training for your brain. When you imagine yourself as successful, confident, and strong, you begin to act in alignment with that image. Example: before competitions, athletes don't just train their bodies. They rehearse every move in their minds. So when the real moment comes, they perform with greater confidence because they've already been there mentally. Practical advice: spend a few minutes daily on visualization. Imagine reaching your goals, feel the emotions of success, and create the picture as vividly as possible. This builds the inner foundation for external action. The takeaway from this chapter: belief and visualization are fuel for achievement. When your inner picture is strong, your outer reality will eventually match it. Chapter 20. Service and creating value for others. The author highlights that real strength is not just about personal achievements but also about the value you bring to others. Life feels truly fulfilling when you live not only for yourself but also for contribution. The key idea: true success is measured by the value you create for others. You can earn money, buy things, and reach personal goals, but if everything circles only around you, emptiness will eventually follow. Real fulfillment comes when your work or actions improve other people's lives. Example: a doctor who saves lives feels the deepest sense of purpose in their profession. An entrepreneur who creates a product that makes life easier gains not only profit but also inner joy. The author notes that service doesn't always mean sacrifice. It can be supporting loved ones, helping colleagues, mentoring, donating, or even offering a kind word. Small acts can create a massive impact. Practical advice: ask yourself, how does my life make other people's lives better? With this mindset, your motivation and energy multiply. The takeaway from this chapter: you can't become the best version of yourself in isolation. Real growth happens when your strength becomes support for others. Chapter 21. True happiness. The author addresses the question everyone seeks: what is happiness? Many people think it comes from money, possessions, or achievements. But in reality, happiness is an inner state, not something fully controlled by outside circumstances. The key idea: happiness is a skill, not a reward. It doesn't appear when you buy a car or land a new job. It comes when you learn to appreciate simple things: health, family, friends, opportunities to grow. Example: one person lives in a big house but constantly feels unhappy because they compare themselves to richer neighbors. Another lives more modestly but feels grateful every day and experiences far more joy. The author warns against postponing happiness. Many people think, "I'll be happy when I buy a house, when I succeed, when I find love." But this mindset traps them in endless waiting. Happiness must be chosen now. Practical advice: create small daily rituals of joy, walks, hobbies, quality time with loved ones, and ask yourself every day, what made me happy today? This builds happiness as a habit. The takeaway from this chapter: happiness is not a destination. It's a way of traveling through life. Chapter 22. The Path to Your Best Self. In the final chapters, the author ties everything together. Becoming the best version of yourself is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong journey. It's a path of constant growth, discipline, small daily steps, and persistence. The key idea: every day is a chance to become better. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or special conditions. It starts with today's choices: waking up earlier, doing a workout, saying no to distractions, reading a few pages of a book. The author stresses, don't compare yourself to others, only to your past self. Your mission is to be a little stronger, wiser, and more disciplined today than you were yesterday. Example: if you improve yourself by just 1% every day, in a year you'll be a completely different person. Small steps compound into massive transformation. Practical advice: create a vision of the person you want to be in 5 to 10 years. Write down the qualities, habits, environment, and goals. Then take daily actions that move you closer to that vision. The book's conclusion: becoming the best version of yourself is life's most important project, and it's available to anyone willing to take responsibility and take action. Extra insights: the author leaves us with several powerful lessons that work like a practical guide. Small steps matter more than big plans. 1 page a day, 1 workout, 1 tiny habit change. Consistency beats intensity. Discipline beats talent. Success belongs not to the smartest or most gifted, but to those who keep going day after day. Your environment shapes you. If you want to grow, surround yourself with people ahead of you. If that's not possible, read their books, listen to their podcasts, learn from biographies. Purpose is stronger than motivation. When you know why you're doing something, energy comes naturally. Purpose-driven people can overcome any struggle. Balance and energy are foundations, not luxuries. Without health, sleep, and recovery, you can't sustain productivity. Real champions balance hard work with rest, gratitude, and positivity. Seeing the good even in challenges builds inner strength. Gratitude creates stability, and positivity helps you look for solutions instead of excuses. Happiness is a way, not a destination. It won't come someday later. It must be practiced daily by appreciating the simple joys and being happy in the moment. Conclusion: so, the book Be the Best Version of Yourself shows us that change doesn't start tomorrow or when life gets perfect. It starts today with one choice, one step. The author's final message is this: every day is an opportunity. The question is, will you use it or keep postponing life? Now ask yourself, which single idea from this book will you start practicing tomorrow? Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's saying no to distractions. Maybe it's taking the first step toward a long-term dream. The key is simple: just start. If this video gave you value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share in the comments which idea resonated with you the most. More books and powerful insights are coming, all designed to help you grow stronger, wiser, and more successful.